Hey, what's up? This is Udolena from Udolena Digital, and today is a book review day. We are talking about Meditations of Marcus Aurelius. Welcome to my channel. Be sure to subscribe. Every Sunday I come with a new video. Some of them are book reviews, some of them are talking about advertising and marketing. I work for Google, and everything that I share in this channel is my own personal opinion. So without further ado, today's book choice is Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. I've been wanting to review this book for a while now, and I think this is the perfect moment now. With the outbreak of the coronavirus, there is so much going on that actually the philosophy of this book is one of the most valuable things that you can gift to yourself at these times of difficulties especially. So Marcus Aurelius is a Roman emperor. He was born in 121 AD, and he became an emperor at the age of 39. He ruled very successfully over the Roman Empire with a lot of victories. He would spend most of his time on the front, fighting on the borders, and actually he died in a battle. And what we have here is actually his diary. These are all meant to be read personally. These are all personal reflections and kind of something like a letter to oneself. So it's an invaluable source of interesting historical and philosophical thoughts. Marcus Aurelius was actually raised in the Stoic form of philosophy, which means that his teacher taught him the principle of Stoicism. Today, Stoicism is referred to someone who is very stern, someone who doesn't enjoy life, kind of delays gratitude and doesn't want to have any fun almost. However, Stoicism has so much more meaning and is so much about spirituality and personal development that actually when you read through the information in this book, you will understand that it's so much more than that, and it can be so helpful, especially in difficult situations. During the reign of Marcus Aurelius, there was a famine, there was a flood, and there was a plague outbreak. So I guess we can learn a few things from someone who was the head of the state at these times. And he was also this great Stoic. Actually, an emperor before him, when he met the 17-year-old Marcus Aurelius, said, well, he is verissimus. Actually, this was a game because the name of Marcus Aurelius was Marcus Annius Verus, which means truthful, and he would just make this synonym for him, verissimus, so the most truthful ones. So already as a young guy, he was giving a lot of impression as he had some kind of something different about him. And another interesting fact about him is that he did not become an emperor by birth. He was adopted to become an emperor. So that was a common practice at that time, after there were several really bad, catastrophic emperors of Rome, which came as direct bloodline heirs of the previous emperors, like sons or nephews. And they decided to kind of cheat the system, and instead of having the direct bloodline heir to inherit the empire, the emperor will often adopt someone who they saw they had the potential and the personality to be the next leader. And by adopting them, they would make the lawful heir of the empire. So this is actually, he was one of a long line of adopted emperors. So in a way, he was appointed to do the job rather than being born into it, which also speaks about his qualities. The book is really not a read that you can just take at one time. It's something that I would recommend you to really go through day by day. Maybe read a small chapter, read a small passage. Actually, the book, when you look into it, you have this kind of like small lines and aphorisms. Sometimes you will have like a whole rant about stuff. It's really interesting read. I have prepared a few quotes which I think would summarize some of the main points of the philosophy, and towards the end of the video I'll share another very interesting fact about the opinion of Marcus Aurelius on Christianity. So let's talk about luck. It is my bad luck that this has happened to me. No, you should rather say, it is my good luck that although this has happened to me, I can bear it without pain, neither crushed by the present nor fearful of the future. So this is also a very pivotal moment. When it comes to Stoicism, it's about really facing bravely what happens to life and fully understanding and embracing the fact that you might be out of control. You have control over the way you react to things. This is the only thing that you can truly control. Let's say if you get sick, you might control how you think about sickness, how you think, like, are you gonna be scared, are you gonna be stressed, are you gonna panic and cry, or are you gonna take it as it is. In a way, actually, Stoicism talks a lot about accepting death and accepting that life is actually a very small and meaningless thing, and you should really focus on achieving your best while you're here and never take it for granted, which can really be a life changer when it comes to your philosophy. Another part which I really love is about prayer. So he talks about when Romans would pray to the gods, they would pray, oh, how can I get to sleep with this woman? You should pray, how can I lose my desire to sleep with this woman? Or how can I get rid of that man? You should pray about losing the desire to get rid of this man. How can I save my little child? You should pray, how can I learn to give away the fear of loss? So really powerful, especially in difficult times when you're faced with tough choices and things might happen the way you didn't expect. It's really great to read through this kind of information and to understand that nothing is granted. The only thing that you can control is your attitude to the problem. Another passage which is really good about death, actually. Think constantly how many doctors have died after knitting their brows over their own patients. How many astrologers after predicting the death of others as if death was something important. How many philosophers, after endless deliberation on death or immortality, how many heroes after the many others they've killed, how many tyrants after using their power over men's lives with monstrous insolence, as if they themselves were immortal. Think too how many whole cities have died, like Pompeii and Herculaneum. These are the cities that were destroyed by the eruption of Vesuvius. If you ever go to Italy, it's really worth visiting them and understanding the impact of this, how a whole city vanished in one day. So the whole thing is that life is very small part of time. You should always look on human life as short and cheap. Yesterday's sperm, tomorrow a mummy or ashes. Marcus Aurelius has also a little bit less dark thoughts. Not everything is about the meaninglessness of life. Not at all, actually. In his opinion, actually, life is very important. Just because it's so short, you have to live it every day as if it is your last, and you have to be prepared to die. You have to make sure you're doing the most out of it. You're not procrastinating. You're not being lazy. You have to do what you were born to do. One part I was really impressed by is listening. So listening has been turned into a very rare and difficult skill, as most people actually wait for you to just stop talking so that they can talk themselves. But no one is listening. People interrupt each other constantly. This is what he says about listening. Accustom yourself not to be disregarding of what someone else has to say. As far as possible, enter into the mind of the speaker. What does not benefit the hive does not benefit the bee either. Also, this is about the state, how important it is, the well-being of the individual versus the state. So what is bad for the state is also bad for the individual. So kind of moving away from this, oh, I should make sure everything is good for myself, I don't care about the others. But understanding and really looking at the society as a whole. Thanks so much for watching until here. I'm sharing my final thoughts on Marcus Aurelius and Christianity. So one controversial side of Marcus Aurelius' reign was that he was actually a persecutor of Christians. And he does not mention too much about them. There's mentioning only once in his book. But what he talks about is quite interesting. He says that he dislikes when people kind of enter into a voluntarily martyrdom. And it was something very typical for early Christians. They would actually provoke a lot of punishments to them so that they become martyrs. To him, that was not understandable. That was against his kind of calmness and philosophy of being ready and prepared for that, but not actively seeking for it. He found it very theatrical. He actually works it as a spectacle. In some sense, he is actually against doctrine. I don't think that he knew a lot about Christianity himself. From what I see in the book, he was just mentioned that he just doesn't like really going into sacrifice when it's not necessary. And this reflects his philosophy rather than his understanding of Christianity. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll be back with a new video next Sunday. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you very soon.